4, 3, 2, 1, go. Hey guys, Ryan here, playing Circle of Commentary. This is going to be the final match in Group G Ro32 of Bigfile MSL. Definitely one of the more interesting groups, so finally at the end of it, this is going to be on Polaris Rhapsody. We're going to have Great at the upper left-hand corner playing as Magenta Zerg. And at the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to have C playing as Yellow Terran. So it's been overall a very interesting group. Stats, I think, bringing the upset of the group to owing it, but at the same time, I still think he's a player capable of such a thing. So, while it does surprise me, a part of me is like, you know what? He seems like the kind of guy to bring it kind of out of nowhere. He reminds me a bit of Shine, the Zerg player, of We Made fame. Kind of a player is kind of unassuming, kind of plays more of a backup role, but just goes on these like, whoa, I just beat everybody. Whoops, kind of like that. So it's kind of interesting in that manner, I definitely must say. And really excited to see him in the round of 16. I'm going to see what he does yet again, as might be a repeat of Nate MSL. We're going to see. But for now, it's C against Great, and I would be happy with either of these guys moving out. I think there are a lot more fanboys of C out there. C Shield probably being one of the most beloved StarCraft Pro players by the foreign scene. If you want answers as to why, go to teamliquid.net. Just be very wary of people. You know, if you answer that, half the people give you an honest answer as to why it probably is so, and other people will call you an idiot noob. That's probably the way it's going to go, because the community is very large. You get both the nice people and you get the total douches in there as well. That's just the way it goes when you have a large community like that. 2 drones coming off the line in there for Great. He's going to put down his 12 hatchery and going to send out a drone scout. You want to do that on this map, because the distances between the two, despite this being a two-player map, this is a two-player map, but the distances are very long, so sending out a drone scout is actually the smart thing to do. Also now putting down his spool, and I think probably going to be seeing Extractor soon enough as well. C, meanwhile, I saw him put down the barracks, so he's most likely going to go for a 1-Rex into Expo on this map. And, yeah, just wanted to be very careful to plat that down. Drone, meanwhile, going to be able to come up that ramp. Not going to be stopped by anything. SCV going to get in its way, so the drone's actually just going to kind of mill around, going to try to be annoying and try to deny that. But with that 1 SCV in there, I don't think it's going to be too successful. C with 1 SCV below that ramp, just trying to make sure the drone doesn't manage too much, getting it caught a little bit. So drone trying to run around, try to get that SCV to have low enough health that it, at the very least C could be forced to take it off the command center and do some other stuff. And yeah, C already does. No, I thought he already did that, but no, just CV kind of like running very far to the upper left. Spawning pool almost done. Alongside that natural expo, still don't see the extractor coming up. So he's not going to try to get that lair going the second the spawning pool pops up. We're going to see what he actually tries to go some zergling heavy stuff to start things off. No wall in from C, so he's just going to entrust his defense to, yeah, brute strength. Extractor is coming up. Second barracks on the way as well right now, and refinery, so we're going to be seeing some good old standard academy. C, never a player that ever, I believe, went for mech. I've never seen a game or even heard of a game with C going mech. It wouldn't surprise me if it's been done, but C is just a guy. I'm playing TVZ. I go for Medic Marine. I go for SK Terran, and sometimes I go for tanks as well. That is what I do, and that is how I win. So why would I change it up? You know, he doesn't feel the need to go for any, you know, 2-port Wraith like Lita. He doesn't feel the need to go for heavy vultures like, say, heavy vultures or Goliath builds, or like Goliath Valkyrie builds like Flash or Fantasy. I just go Medic Marines and I am happy. No mech build, no timing mech builds like 4GG, nothing like that. Just good old Medic Marine, go out there and kill stuff. And I actually believe Light, his teammate, is pretty much exactly the same way. Both very solid TVZ players. I believe their matchups the best. So they like some anti-Zerg. I believe that's the way it goes. Unfortunately, of course, having the weakness of only having 2 very good players on the team, and neither of them being, you know, quite S-class. So kind of hard when it comes to trying to balance out and fight against very strong guys. I got to start watching those playoffs. Dear God, I haven't watched much of that at all. I got to get to that. Don't know why I haven't watched it much. Busy boy, working stuff. But I have this weekend off, so I might sit down, and I'm hanging out with Till Silence, so some awesome stuff. Some people complain that I blab too much about stuff unrelated to what's going on the screen, and I apologize about that. But sometimes you got to do it to stay sane, because not not always something happening on the screen at all times. And as some of you will know, I'm not a guy like Day 9. I cannot talk about what might happen in the next 5 minutes all the time. I don't have the chess match figure of StarCraft. I'm a play-by-play guy. More, you know, I make guesses, I make suggestions, I blab about what's going on the screen, I scream at the top of my lungs when something awesome happens, and I sigh as loudly as possible when something horrible happens. A couple of fire bats coming in here, and getting completely picked off by those zerglings. That is sad. See, that's exactly what I mean right there. But yeah, 2 fire bats should have been able to pick off those zerglings, but they're good. Doing great surround and see kind of allowing them to be caught rather than retreating back onto that bridge where he would have been in a much better position to fight back those zerglings. See, stuff like that just makes perfectly good sense, right? Good stuff. So he's pushing out with a few medic marines, getting his 3rd barracks going, just getting his stack up. Do see the evolution, not eBay, engineering bay. Up with weapons and upgrades on the way. Turrets going to be coming up, and we're going to be... This is, of course, a rematch of the first set, so it's going to be interesting whether he tries to go for that same thing, because Great did go for that hatchery inside of his base. I'm mentioning that a little bit too late. Does go for the spires, so we're going to be seeing another heavy muta build, and I'm just hoping he's not walking into the hands of C like he did last time, because C has more than enough time right now to put down as many turrets as he wants to, and doesn't seem like he's putting down as many. He's being a little bit more conservative with them. Don't see any turrets inside the main yet, but should be seeing some. Do see a factory coming up, but he's going to want to put down some turrets to defend against those mutalisks along a turret facing the the open area where mutalisks can fly in. A turret, you know, next to the barracks. That's definitely a good idea. But the mutalisks coming out here, I think 7 or 8. 7, I think, mutalisks. Also a hatchery being put down the 9 o'clock position. He's going to try to pick that up for himself. That is a gas expo. Although protecting it, he's going to need those mutalisks. But finally, do see some huge bunch of turrets. They're making a little corner there on the left side, and I think C might still have those up in time. Does he have any inside the main though? I didn't see much. He has the medic marines groups at the front. Gonna have to stim those, force those mules back a little bit. Gonna want to make sure he doesn't allow his mules to take the first shot. Want to always get the first shot on the mules. A lot of turrets here. Very good play here from C. I'm liking those 2 turrets inside the main on that ground to the lower left hand, because the main kind of forms an L for C, and the same on the opposite side, kind of like a reverse L though. Starport on the way as well, but so we're going to be seeing C work on his side. So we do see the Queens coming in significantly early for Great though. So we're going to see whether it transitions into lurkers alongside some defilers maybe, or whether this is just going to be for straight up guardians. Not together altogether sure. We are going to be seeing it very soon. Mido is just flying around, not finding any opening, and C has his turrets in perfect place. As I was saying, I love those 2 turrets at the end of that L, at the absolute bottom of that base, because they pretty much completely prevent the Midos from flying in. If they want to fly in, they're going to have to take some shots, and I'm not quite sure. He has split up his medic marines. He has some to the left side outside of his natural expo, and some kind of going in conga line. Very careful when you do that. If you go in conga line, those marines at the back of the conga line